Right, good evening and welcome to your most authoritative evening political show, Hot News. We are live on Pan-African Television. We are also live on Facebook at Pan-African Television, live on YouTube at Pan-African Television, as well as 48 African countries. You can join in the conversation by sending in your views, comments, and contributions on our WhatsApp/text line. I'll be reading those messages out for you. Those of you watching us on Facebook, and share the Facebook Live for other people to also watch tonight's edition of the program. My name is 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒, and tonight on Hot News, the debate over SSNIT's decision to sell its shares continues since the North Tongue Member of Parliament Samuel 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒 lodged a formal petition with the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice (STRAJ) to investigate allegations surrounding the sale of 6 hotels to Rock City Hotel owned by Minister for Agriculture Brian Acheampong. The hotels under scrutiny in the petition include Labadi Beach Hotel, La Palm Royal Beach Resort, Elmina Beach Resort, Ridge Royal Hotel, Busia Beach Resort, and the Trust Lodge Hotel. Mr. Blakwa's petition to STRAJ seeks to investigate into various allegations, including conflict of interest, abuse of power, lack of due process, procurement breaches, cronyism, and graft. Now, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust (SSNIT) denied any foul play in its decision to sell a 60% stake in its hotels to Rock City Hotel. They insisted that the process in selecting a buyer was transparent and strictly adhered to the Public Procurement Act to select Rock City Hotel among 5 other hotels that applied. In a statement issued on Sunday, May 19, SSNIT explained that Rock City Hotel Limited submitted the best and strongest technical and financial proposal among the bids received, meeting the criteria set out in the request for proposal. SSNIT assured the public it will cooperate fully with STRAJ throughout its investigation process. But the person in question, the owner of Rock City Hotel, who happens to be Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Brian Acheampong, has been responding to these allegations. What is he saying? He said the allegations peddled by Mr. Blakwa, suggesting that he is committing any wrongdoing in Rock City's proposal to purchase 60% of shares in SSNIT's 4 hotels, are false and baseless. Speaking on a sister station, the Abetifi MP expressed disappointment in the stance taken by his colleague. Now let's listen to Brian Acheampong when he was responding to these allegations that were leveled against him and his company, Rock City Hotel. Let's listen to him right back.
There is a big difference between Brian Acheampong and Rock City. Rock City has its own board, has its own management. They make decisions and the day-to-day running of the company. I own the company proudly. Indigenous, Ghanaian, I own the company. But it has its own management, its own board. They make their own decisions. That's it. They are pursuing the vision that I set for them to make sure that they are in all the 16 regions and the 54 markets that we have identified in the next 15 years. That's what I have set out for them, and they are executing. That's correct. No, I am a non-executive director of Rock City. But if you are registering at Registrar General, they don't give you this qualification, register as you just have to bring 2 directors. And so definitely I am one of the directors. But in terms of a functional role of the management of Rock City, I am not a part of it. I am a non-executive director. I don't take any pay salary. I don't take any emolument. I don't participate in anything. I am the vision bearer, and I try as much as possible once a year or every so often when I have a time to get them to focus on a vision. I don't receive any salary, anything, and I'm not paid any benefits. You can check from, they pay close to about 5 SSNIT to about 500 staff. You can check if I am one of them, because if I am receiving compensation, they have to pay the liabilities thereof, either payee or SSNIT, and I am not one of them. Number 2, the decision or the proposal that I understand that Rock City sent to SSNIT has nothing to do with paying for the the shares from revenues from the company. Is a total falsehood. I don't think that the competent people of SSNIT, including the board and the transaction advisor, will allow for such, forgive me, nonsense to happen. That you can walk into a company and then run the company and use the revenue of the company to pay for your shares. That would be madness.
So that was Mr. Brian Acheampong, Member of Parliament for Betifi. He's also the Minister for Agriculture. Of course, he is the owner of Rock City Hotel, the company that is at the center of this whole issue that we are going to be discussing on the show tonight. Happy birthday to my little sister Hilda Ohui-Podo. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday to you. May you live long, be a good woman. May the good Lord bless you, favor you in everything you do, and grow to be a good woman. Happy birthday from myself, Precious, Perpetual, and everybody, including Mom. Happy birthday to you, Hilda Ohui-Podo. Happy birthday to you. I've been joined in the studio by Bernard Odro-Techi, popularly known as BOT. BOT is a chartered economist. BOT, thank you so much for joining us tonight. How are you doing?
That's I'm good.
Right.
Let me express my deepest condolence to my brother.
Very well.
Who is heading to opposition soon. He's just about 8 months away.
Right.
So I share with him with his agony. As soon as I entered, I saw tears drawing down. Though he's bereaved, but it goes beyond that bereavement.
I see.
What is clear is that opposition await him. So the earlier he acclimatizes himself with that state of mind, the better. Trust me, he's heading to opposition. Nothing can save them.
Right. Also in the studio with me tonight is Mr. 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒. Mr. 𝐍𝐿𝐿𝐶 is the Director of Communications, NADMO, and a member of the new Patriotic Party Communications team. Mr. 𝐍𝐿𝐶, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
We know that you are bereaved. On behalf of the entire channel, we send our condolences to the family, to yourself and your family on the loss of your brother.
Yeah, we're grateful.
As and when the date is scheduled for the funeral, let us know and we'll come and support you.
Yeah, last Friday we held a 1 week in Asamankese at the Methodist Park, Asamankese in the Eastern region. I'm grateful to all the people of Asamankese who were present, and the people of Orem, my holy village, who came in their numbers to support. The family is grateful to all of them. The funeral itself will be in about the middle of June. That's it. So it's happened. So we need to take solace in the Lord.
Very well. Sorry for your loss. And my little sister is celebrating her birthday today. I don't know if you'd want to wish her well.
Oh, we wish her happy birthday. May she grow to be a good citizen. A woman of substance. A woman with purpose and vision, driven by the grace of God, and may she find herself in the Lord's vineyard and be a pillar in that vineyard.
Very well. Thank you so much, Mr. 𝐶. I'll come back to you.
That's my prayer to her.
Thank you. Thank you. She's so grateful. I don't know what BOT you would want to tell my little sister. She's celebrating her birthday today.
I was waiting to say the last, because he who laugh the best.
Right.
I hope she goes to become a social democrat.
Okay.
So my first wish for your younger sister is that grow to be a member of the umbrella.
No.
What entices you if you grow?
No, she has to be a capitalist.
When you were stressing yours, I was quite So, my dear sister, I'll pen down a nice poem for you next week. But the heartbeat of the poem is that grow to be a social democrat. Grow to love the umbrella. Grow to believe in solidarity, social justice, and equity. Don't grow to go for a Japadia document. Don't grow to do state capture. Don't grow to bath in the sky. Don't grow to date the biggest pit in Ghana. But grow rather to be like late Professor Mills, late Rollins, John Dramani Mahama, Professor Jinanopu. And when you exhibit these tendencies, trust me, anytime you die at age of 140 years, you go to heaven.
Right.
But what betides you if you dream to become the elephant? Even at the age of 155, when you die, hell shall await you. I wish you the best of luck. My prayers are with you. Grow from strength, but from the umbrella to the umbrella. And you see, if you dream to be part of the elephant, we shall castigate you and throw you into a certain amber of that. But I believe your sister is watching us this evening.
Very.
I have not met her, I have not seen her, but my spirit tells me that she should grow to be a member of the elephant.
Right. The elephant or the umbrella?
The umbrella. You see, I'm clear that she will grow to be a member of the umbrella.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Owi Bodo. Grow to be a good citizen. Grow to be a good woman. Now I'll start with you, BOT, on the issue of 60% stakes of the state that is being sold to Rock City Hotel. I'm talking about the SSNIT hotels.
Okay, so
Brian Achampon has denied any wrongdoing in that, agreement and all of that. SSNIT has also indicated that amongst all the companies that, bidded for the whole process, it was Rock City Hotel that qualifies enough.
Okay.
And so they think that there's no wrongdoing in the said, agreement or, shares that were sold to Rock City Hotel. If that is the case, what is the headache of the National Democratic Congress, especially your Member of Parliament, Honorable 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒 Ablakwa?
Okay, so let me start our convo by expressing my deepest appreciation to 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒 Ablakwa, the son of a man.
Right.
But then before that, let me say good evening to all the rank and file of members of the NDC, most especially the flag bearer of the party, who currently is engaging all stakeholders in the country, still on the building the next Ghana we want tour, listening to all stakeholders and to make sure that the next NDC manifesto that shall be launched next month ending will be the aspiration of Ghanaians and will never be brought from the sky. Now, having said that, it is imperative to state the position of the NDC that we are social democrats. And we are not against wealth building and wealth accumulation. A certain impression has been created that the NDC as a social democratic party pillared on equity, social justice, solidarity, comradeship. We are against wealth creation and wealth accumulation.
Right.
For the records, the ideological underpinning of the NDC simply means social welfare capitalism. So in effect and in principle, the NDC as a party that always create that congenial atmosphere for business to thrive is never against businessmen and women. And in fact, if you look at another Fourth Republic, I heard the MPP in the past raise a certain level of argument that late Rawlings put up the Diversity Implementation Committee. And the import of that Diversity Implementation Committee was to kind of offload certain shares of the state into the hands of private individual. So it simply means denationalization. So the Diversity Implementation Committee policy of late Rawlings was simply to denationalize certain assets owned by the states. So certain state agencies that were owned by the government of Ghana, he sought to sell them to private individuals. The MPP castigated Rawlings and made it look as if that Rawlings was a devil.
Right.
So in principle, if Rawlings brought up Diversity Implementation Committee, that kind of diversified state portfolio into private individual, and the MPP under Professor Dubois then saw it to be evil, saw it to be wrong, saw it to be immoral. In 2024, what has changed? So the MPP is a working contradiction. On one breath, when Rawlings sought to open up the country, certain state enterprises that were not making problems, making like losses, say, okay, let's sell it out, let individual own it and run it effectively and efficiently, productively. The MPP then under Professor Dubois said that Rawlings is evil. He doesn't mean well. He doesn't believe in wealth building. So if in the 90s and in the 80s, the MPP and the late Professor Dubois castigated late Rawlings on diversity implementation committee, I want to ask my brother, when it is your turn, what has changed? So if in 1992-93, you castigated the same principle, and some years later, the very principle you castigated against, now you are embracing it wholeheartedly, you are working contradiction. Okay. Policy point number 2. As a young person, I believe in building businesses. Okay. So I will not sit here and run anybody down, beneath MPP or beneath NDC. But there are certain principles we cannot run away from it. In as much as the NDC believe in building wealth by Ghanaians and indigenous people, right, we are not for chronic capitalism. In fact, what Honorable Brian Champon is seeking to do is a clear manifestation of chronic capitalism and state capture. And I'll come to that.
How do you define this under state capture?
I'm coming to it. You see, people are throwing tantrum that what Honorable Kujeto is seeking to do is to run his reputation down, destroy his businesses. But you see, when you read the Bible,
and for political expediency,
no. I'll come to that. I'm building my point.
All right.
If you read the Bible, there's a version I love most in Q.O.S. Okay. We have liberty to do many things. You are a man. You are liberty to sleep with women. Will you sleep with your mother?
Not at all.
That is why constitutionally, the Constitution says conflict of interest. So constitutionally, every member of parliament is supposed to file for permission to run a business from parliament. Okay. I'm asking Honorable Champo one question. He must look into camera in the Bible that he holds. Has he done that? Has he been given the permission by the Speaker of Parliament? The answer is a big no.
Running a business.
He is. I'll come to it. I have my point written down.
But he's a non-executive director of that company.
That is deceptive to the highest level. Okay. When you take the Company Act, the organogram of every company, you have the shareholders who are more like the real owners of the company. Okay. So you have the shareholders, you have the board of directors, you have management and the operational team. That is the typical organogram of a company. So when you take every company, you have the shareholders, you have the board of directors, you have the management team and the other stakeholders involved. If you are looking at the typical beneficiary of a company or the benefactor, it is the shareholder. I listened to his interview on Joy News TV yesterday, and he said that he is the sole beneficial owner of the company. So the argument of him being non-executive director is defeatist. Justice, who owns this company? Pan-Africa, who owns it?
Well, my director is Mr. Kwesi Pratt.
Okay. So let's take Kwesi Pratt as a case. I want to make a simple argument for your viewers to understand. Right. Kwesi Pratt can nominate other people to be non-executive directors. Kwesi himself can be non-executive director. But in the final, Kwesi is the beneficial owner of this company. Okay. So when you look at the organogram and the company law, when you leave the veil and you are dealing with matters of conflict of interest, be more concerned about the beneficial owner than directors and non-executive director. So you see, you can own Pan-African TV and decide that from Monday to Sunday, you are never going to step foot here. But whether Pan-Africa make losses or profit, either economic profit or subnormal profit, it is incumbent upon you to reinvigorate it. In any case, who will raise the equity to build Rock City? It is Brian Champon. So the argument he's throwing around, he can do that to those who are ignorant. But to some of us who understand how companies run and they operate and know that beneficial owners have higher stake in the company than either executive or non-executive director. Point number 3, conflict of interest.
But before you continue, okay, I'm sure you are talking about Article 78 of the 1992 Constitution.
Read.
Article 78 deals with ministers of state. 78(1) says, ministers of state shall be appointed by the president with the prior approval of parliament from among members of parliament or persons qualified to be elected as members of parliament, except that the majority of ministers of state shall be appointed from among members of parliament. 78.2 says, the president shall appoint such number of ministers of state as may be necessary for the efficient running of the state. 3 says, a minister of state shall not hold any other office of profit or emolument, whether private or public, and whether directly or indirectly, unless otherwise permitted by the Speaker, acting on the recommendations of a committee of parliament on the ground that A, holding that office will not prejudice the work of a minister.
Thank you.
That no conflict of interest arises or would arise as a result of the minister holding that office. But if you look at Honorable Brian Achampong,
okay,
I'm not sure he receives salary or emolument or anything of that sort from Rock City.
Justice, you are getting it wrong.
Okay.
When you limit company law discussion to directors and non-executive directors.
Right.
Look, let me repeat on your show. Even if you take off Article 78,
okay,
which says that for the purpose of conflict of interest, a minister of state shall not. And even if you intend to even run a business as a member of parliament, you must get the express approval of the Speaker of Parliament. One question I have for Honorable Brian Achampong: has he gotten that express approval from the Speaker of Parliament? The answer is a big no. Then again, I come to the element
of he's not working for Rock City Hotel. Is he working for Rock City?
Wait, you see, you are not looking at lifting the veil argument I'm making. We have the company law.
Okay.
We have beneficial owners, who are the real shareholders. We have executive directors and non-executive directors. Justice, why do business exist? Simple question. Businesses exist for two reasons.
Right.
To make social impact and to make profit. Anything less or more than this is not business. The very reason why some organizations are called NGOs, so they are not supposed to make profit.
Right.
But when you have a typical commercial business like Rock City, who prepare their financial statement, they have their cash flow statement or whatever explanatory note, they are there mainly to make social impact and to make profit. When companies make profit, they pay dividend to shareholders. Yes. I repeat, when companies make profit,
of course, that is captured under the company law.
I'm coming.
The Companies Act.
People is fronting for some unknown faces. I repeat, when I look at the Ramata, the controversy, the politics around it, and I look at the capacity of Rock City, you cannot look. I'm daring SSNIT that if they say Rock City was the ultimate company that met all the requirements, let them publish all the bidders. I'm challenging them.
Right.
If SSNIT can be bold enough today and publish all the companies who bid there for running that 60%, you realize that some company might have even quoted higher figure to buy that 60% more than Rock City. But when I sit back as a business guy and as a politician, I see business fronting in this whole deal. I think that there's a certain superior hand behind Brian Achampong, and that superior hand could be the president himself. I'm choosing my word advisedly that the superior hand behind Brian Achampong is not he, Brian Achampong. How can you tell me that if you look at all the 6 listed hotels by SSNIT, some of them occupancy rates about 90%. When we say occupancy rate in hotels, it simply means that every day, if you take the whole rooms in that hotel, it is full up to about 90%. Let me take you to Rock City. I have done investigation that the occupancy rate of Rock City today is around 54%. How do you tell me that hotels owned by SSNIT with occupancy rate of over 90% is far not making gains compared to Rock City with occupancy rate around 54%? So you see, if you really want to buy state as a that is not the way to go. That is why just some of us, when we take a careful look at the Japadia document, it leads to the fact that the MPP is heading to opposition. And before they land into opposition, they want to make sure that anything they came to meet in the interest of the state, they will be critical unto themselves. So anybody, whether you're a politician, civil society, religious organization, National House of Chief members, we must show interest because there's one of the hotel called the Busuan Resort Beach. The Nananum in that community are written a letter to Senate board members that the land that the hotel is situated on belongs to them. So if they are selling 60% of that stake onto Rock City, they must also have a stake. So you see, the point we the NDC and 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒 is making is very simple. Conflict of interest is one, constitutionality is one, and deceit is also another point. Okay. You cannot tell me that are the sole beneficial owner of Rock City, and when Rock City make profit and they declare dividend, the dividend goes to him, 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒. So if tomorrow, assuming that admitting that after acquiring all the state hotels, Rock City make a profit of let's say $50 million in a given financial year, who enjoy that profit? It's you, 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒. So the argument of you being non-executive director is not ado about nothing. Dump and rubbish that argument today and come to the table that I've listened to Professor Ajimambia, who is a typical MPP man, works with the United Nations as a governance expert, and he has said that 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒 must take clear off. You see, the legacy they are living is the legacy that we have 8 months to go. Let us sell everything. But the NDC is going to be resolute. We are taking a principal position, and we are going to make sure that this SSNIT asset belong to pensioners and potential pensioners. So those of us who are working, if you are a potential pensioner today and you are making your contribution to SSNIT, what it implies is that, and let me tell you the most annoying part of the whole transaction. SSNIT appointed a transaction advisor and paid that person over $400,000 million. Come to think about it, you want to sell your asset, and the SSNIT telling me that in-house they don't have competent people who could have given a professional advice on how to sell their asset, than to engage a transaction advisor. And it brings a debt, a loss to the state of about $500,000. I beg to differ. Right. The position of 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒 is conscionable. It's a principal position, and it's a position supported by every right-thinking member of Ghana, and most importantly, the flag bearer of the NDC. Because if we are going to run a 24-hour economy, you will need a hospitality industry that is buoyant. Right. So we are never going to sit down for them to cheat us every day. That asset, according to TUC, must never be sold to 𝐍𝐄𝐼𝐒 either today, tomorrow, or 2025.
Right, that was BOT, Bernard Odro-Techi, is a chartered economist. But in pursuit of full transparency and accountability, Honorable 𝐍𝐄𝐼𝐒 Blakwa says he can today reveal that the transaction advisor for SSNIT's sale of 60% stake in its hotels to Brian Acheampong's Rock City is 𝐍𝐄𝐼𝐒 Capital. It's costing Ghanaian workers a hefty $491,986 US. If you bring it to Ghanaian cedi, it is 7.1 million Ghana cedis at current exchange rate, in paying 𝐍𝐄𝐼𝐒 Capital to advise on a transaction the overwhelming majority of Ghanaian workers do not support. Selling strategic state assets don't come cheap. That is why we insist SSNIT should first have engaged in broad consultations. Stop the sale now. It's costing Ghanaian workers a hefty $491,986 US. It's equal to 7.1 million Ghana cedis at the current exchange rate, in paying 𝐍𝐿 Capital to advise on a transaction the overwhelming majority of Ghanaians or Ghanaian workers do not support. And of course, the document is also here, actually, for the sake of our viewers. I mean, this is it. But Mr. C, I'll come to you. I mean, there have been arguments that we need not to even sell the state's shares in SSNIT hotels. We could have managed it, because if you look at the 5 hotels that that are in contention, we are talking about Labadi Beach Hotel, we are talking about the La Palm Royal Beach Resort, Ridge Royal, and some other ones.
Mina Beach Resort.
Exactly.
Busua Beach.
Very well. Yeah. Now the argument is that if Labadi Beach Hotel is able to make profit, because we look at their, is it 2021 profit, they made a profit of about 10 million or something, and then 2022 they made a profit of about 22 million, and all of that, and that was what they gave to government and all of that. And it means that, and then likewise Ridge Royal, they've also been making, you know, profit and all of that. If these two hotels are making profit, then it means that we can manage those other ones in order to make profit. Why sell, you know, some shares to, you know, a private individual and all of that, and not just a private individual, but an individual who is in government? People think that this is not right, we must not pursue this and all that. What your take on that? What's the MPP's position on this matter?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening to you. Good evening to my colleague, BOT. SSNIT is an institution that holds our money, workers' money, in trusts for them. And by that, they try to invest those monies to get good returns for the future of the individual worker who will be retiring. Right. And so they must be in a solid financial position for the sake of the sustainability of their pension scheme that they run. Okay. And so that is what informs SSNIT's decision to go into investments in real estate. You remember the SSNIT flats across the country. Right. And what do? They build and they sell to the occupants. Okay, and those people that are interested. I had a friend who is bought one of the Elmina flats, the SSNIT flats in Elmina. Okay, and so they are into that business. I have been making the argument, why did they sell it? Because I thought if it's rented for a long period, it would have been better. But the issue of maintenance and others come at a cost, and so it's part of the reason they build and then sell the individual apartments to occupants who are interested in it. Okay. Now SSNIT has got the hotel business there and is into these hotels. So once upon a time when Elmina Beach Resort started, it was a very buoyant and one of the vibrant hotels. Okay, I've had the privilege of being there. I've had the privilege of being in Busua Beach Resort. Okay, another solid place and cool. But in recent times, when I go to Elmina Beach Resort, I'm not too excited. Okay, I'm not too excited because the competition is gone. It's gone up. Ridge Royal, interestingly, it happens to be for them too, and is also in Cape Coast. Okay, it's getting good response. And so, what informed the decision of the management of SSNIT to say, okay, let's divest some interest of that? They said they needed strategic investors. In business parlance, if they say strategic investor, is about one, capital and management, okay, and bringing novel or new ideas to bolster the fortunes of the company that needs a strategic investor. Right. It's not only about the capital investment or fund injection. Okay, it goes beyond fund injection, and that is what is informed them. Maybe the management skills and styles of the people handling these 6 hotels is not getting them the. You mentioned profit 10 million, 22 million. Could they have made $200 million? Could they? Could they have made $150 million? It is possible. So what is inhibiting them from reaching that place? And so then they decide they need a strategic investor. They've realized the hotels have the potential of gaining more than what they are doing now. That has informed their decision to say, for the sake of the sustainability of the pension scheme and getting liquid to ingest into the payment of people who go on retirement, we need to do things that will help us get more liquid to come into the business, okay, so that the SSNIT fund will be solid all the time. Because in recent time we've been hearing that people say, oh, the SSNIT is going to die, SSNIT is going to dry out and all. They've come to rebut that. No, it's not so. But it tells you that there are issues of liquidity and investment returns and co. What is happening, okay? So these are the things that we need to be looking at. And SSNIT says, okay, my brother BOT just said a certain Rock City is making 54% occupancy, is getting 54% occupancy. Come of it, and others are making 90%. 54% occupancy of a 2,000 capacity hotel, as against 90% of a 200 capacity hotel. What are you talking about? And then they say, Rock City has 2,000 rooms. Elmina Beach Resort has about 200 rooms. Okay? Or even less. And you are telling me that 90% of that is anywhere near 54% of a 2,000 capacity room? Get your facts right, and let's make the proper debates. Okay? And I would rather, as a person on pension, possible to go on pension and on SSNIT contribution, I'm a SSNIT contributor. I would rather that SSNIT does proper investments that will bring good returns and assure me, okay, of the payment of my lump sum, and then, you know, monthly allowance, or is it salary or pension, pension, this thing, after my retirement. Okay. That should be guaranteed. And so proper investment strategies should be put in place. That is why we have management. And those making the argument that I want to read, those making the argument of conflict of interest and all that, I don't get it. Because you remember this issue came out when Furiata became finance minister. Okay? Data bank and his vested interest and all that. What happened? I think he was cleared. Okay? How different is that from this? And he, even a finance minister, handling the exchequer of the whole country. This is a great minister, a member of parliament. He's made this business investment long ago. Look, let me tell you, in the United States and Britain and others, people who have excelled in the private sector are pushed by government to take ministerial positions. And they are paid with certain terms that they put on the table. Okay? Because they have done it and succeeded. And so the government, is not easy to get them to come into the government sector. And so government deliberately goes to push them that come and take over this sector. We know you are into this, you've succeeded. Take over this, and these are the contracts we are signing with you.
The argument is that if you look at Article 78 of the Constitution, it spells out clearly what a minister of state and a member of parliament can do, and what the person cannot do in terms of doing business and making profit and all of that. You can marry that to the Companies Act 2019.
That didn't say.
Talk about shares.
That didn't say that you cannot own a business.
He never said so.
Yes.
I mean,
so if I own a business and I become a member of parliament, does it mean I should sell off the business? Is that what the Constitution is saying?
No. He's a non-executive director of the company.
Yes.
However, if the veil of incorporation is lifted, it will trace back to Brian Achiampong. If shares,
once he occupies office, he is not involved in any act of the company.
I agree, but Brian,
so what is the conflict of interest? And he's also not in a position to influence decisions, of the ministry for the interest of his hotel.
He's a shareholder in that company.
Yeah, he said it. He's 100% shareholder.
When the company makes
he's
profit,
100% shareholder.
They share dividends to shareholders of the company. So once he gets his shares out of that company, Brian would be engaging in conflict of interest.
What's the conflict of interest? What is that? Look,
Brian is
according to SSNIT, don't worry, please, let's not lose sight of the basis for the strategic investment that SSNIT is calling for. SSNIT says when they peruse the documents that were brought before, the bids, his was the best, and was the best that would be in the beneficial interest of SSNIT and its shareholders. Okay? And so therefore, they think it is Rock City and its partners or whatever that should take over the 60% shares in these 6 hotels. Okay? And so that is interesting. I am interested in getting a profitable investment in the SSNIT investments, or the hotels and other investments that SSNIT is involved in. Okay? Look, if you remember, SSNIT sold off the a hotel in Cape Coast, and then the catering rest house in Tamale, Sunyani, Kumasi, all were sold off. And interestingly, I understand they were bought by big guys from their party. Okay, when they were in government. Okay, are they making profit? Were they even in hotel business? We don't know. Okay, but they've taken over those things and are running with it. Okay, and he did talk about divestiture implemented. Do you know, he asked me to answer him. The answer is a capital yes, that it was wrong. And why it was right. You know why? Because you're a socialist party.
Osadefu was socialist and built those companies and call for the state. And so if another socialist-oriented party takes over governance, why should they be divesting state-owned assets if you're socialist-oriented? A capitalist party like ours, we can do that. Okay? So it defies common sense and logic for a socialist party, a social democratic party like the NDC, to be divesting state properties and state assets. That is how Kaduwa, he was bewildered by that. And he's right. Okay? So let's put that in perspective. Now, 78, 98, Okujeto raised Article 78, 98, and they both talk about conflict of interest.
Exactly.
That is where I say the Constitution doesn't say that if I own a business, okay, and thereafter I become a member of Parliament, consequently appointed a Minister of State, my vested interest in the business, my involvement in the day-to-day management or administration of the business, that one I have to leave it, and I have left it. But it hasn't said that I should divest or sell off the company and not have any interest whatsoever. Whatever it is, I will have interest because I'm the owner. But my decision as a minister or member of Parliament will not be in conflict. Okay? That is what we need to look at.
To do an exercise.
Go on.
If you look at
ready.
78.3,
Yes.
it says a minister of state shall not hold any other office of profit or emolument, whether private or public, and whether directly or indirectly, unless otherwise permitted by the Speaker acting on the recommendations of a committee of Parliament on the grounds of restated the But I'm interested in that the three.
Yes.
So if
Brian
is a shareholder in Rock City Hotel, and anytime Rock City Hotel makes
you know there's a difference between a beneficial owner and a legal owner.
No, but
and sometimes the same person can be beneficial owner and a legal owner. It can be.
However,
go on.
If Rock City Hotel makes profit, and dividends are shared to the shareholders, would Brian benefit out of that dividend or not?
He's the owner of the hotel.
He will, then how do we classify that dividend that he is getting out of the profit made by Rock City Hotel?
No, by virtue of the fact that he is a Minister of Agriculture, has he taken any decision that has directly been beneficial to the hotel? That is where issues of conflict of interest come in. Okay, not just that. That's why he's not going. He's made the argument. He's made the argument that there are a lot of people who are members of Parliament who are doing other business who haven't even applied to the Speaker for permission because they feel they are not directly involved in what is going on. People who have law chambers and co that are running. You know that
very well.
Prempeh, Akufo-Addo, Prempeh and co. It's still running up to today. You want to tell me the president doesn't have anything there because he set up that thing with his partners, okay? But he is not involved in the day-to-day and co about it. In fact, if they want any legal matter, they must go and bid for it. And when they bid and they win, they can go ahead. Because the president is not involved, even though he's a part owner of the business. Okay. The Constitution doesn't say that company, that law firm should be disbanded because somebody from that place, part owner, has become the president. And so I think in the same spirit that was done for Data Bank and Kenu Furiata, it is in the same spirit that Brian Echampo is making the argument that look, I'm a non-executive director of the company. There's another director who is involved in the day-to-day running of the issue. That's why I asked you from the beginning. Does the Constitution say if I own a business before becoming a member of Parliament and a Minister of State, I should completely divorce my interest from the ownership of the company? Should I sell it? Is that what the Constitution says? No,
the Constitution has not said.
It's not said so. So it allows you to go ahead. If you have an interest, it is there. But that interest should not come in the way of the state decisions that you make, which can be classified as conflict of interest. Okay? So my interest is that Brian Echampo is put his bid in. He and his partners in the hotel management business, he has won. And interestingly, do you know, I think he said, this thing started way back November 2018.
Right.
Okay? 2018, transaction advisors and all that were brought in. There were international advertisements in the Economist paper, the Daily Graphic, the Ghanaian Times, all of them advertise these up to 2022 and beyond. Now, okay, and the process is gone through to where we are.
Now we are told
that is it. I'm happy he's going to strike. Now let's try to make that decision. And I doubt if it's going to be different from what.
But now we are told that. Answer this question. We are told that about 6 companies bidded for, this process.
Yes.
And SSNIT is telling us that they only found Rock City Hotel Limited submitting the best and strongest technical and financial proposal among the bids received, without telling the good people of Ghana, how much Rock City Hotel makes in a year.
Makes how? Why should they tell you how much Rock City makes?
Ghanaians, don't you think that Ghanaians need to know how strong?
It's public now. This thing.
Don't you think that Ghanaians need to know how strong Rock City Hotel is, how strong the proposal is,
everybody knows
what that proposal entails.
No, they are public documents. No, you can go. People were not interested in it from 2018 and go.
You think that?
So it's not that a member of parliament, Honorable Okujeto has shown interest.
So that they make this process.
No, they've had a press conference. It was transparent. It was very transparent. They've advertised it internationally. The Economist newspaper had it. Daily Graphic, the leading Ghanaian paper, Ghanaian Times is advertised it. Okay, 2018, November 2022.
Do you know the reason I'm asking this question?
2022.
Do you know the reason I'm asking?
No, tell me.
I'm asking you because
these things are available.
If I am
you
able
can easily
to tell
access
you on this platform
that
Labadi Beach Hotel makes so and so profit, or they made this profit in 2021, 2022, 2023, then it is only proper for us to know how strong the company that is taking over the shares.
Do you agree that Rock City is according to records, is the biggest hotel in Africa?
I had a
Do you know that? That's why I told you that 54% of the 2,000. His target is about, I think, 10,000 or so. Now 12,000 or so. Now what is operating is about 2,000.
Just Rock City Hotel, the biggest hotel in Africa.
That's if you go to Google, you get those things. So that is one of the biggest.
Is that
a 2,000 capacity room hotel, which is moving towards over 10,000 rooms. And you are saying it's just a mere. If you travel, you see hotels. That don't even have about 500 rooms, which are classy. You get it?
I'm not contesting that. But the question I'm asking is that who are judged that you want to tell the biggest hotel in Africa?
The Hoteliers Association and Co. They can make that. The Tourism Board of Africa and Co. They can bring that. So I think whatever is taking the legal this thing, let's go through Shraj. And I know it will be much ado about nothing. Those talking about conflict of interest and Co. I disagree. Because the law doesn't say if you have a business and you go to parliament, you must sell off the business or close down the business. No, that's not what the law says. But, it says your positions should not conflict.
My confusion
and give you the advantage. No.
An office of interest, profit or emolument. That's what the law says. So I'm struggling to get the understanding.
He says he's not involved in the day-to-day. No, once he's the owner of the thing, he's not involved in it. There are people who are managing it. It doesn't mean he will not get something. No, he's the owner. It will be pretentious to say that he's not going to get any dividend out of it. There are shareholders, ordinary shareholders, debenture shareholders, what others say, preferential shareholders and all that. Those are the things that in any business entity, he stated that he is 100% shareholder of the company. It means it's for him. You get it? But now, because of the positions he's occupying, he's divested his interest and focused on the ministerial job and the parliamentary job he's doing. The other one that Okujeto has raised, 78 and 90, seeking permission from the speaker, that can be debated because he is saying he's not involved in that, and then he's a
non-executive
director.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Right.
Let's try to explain it to her. But I think Barry Champon will come out, and I want him to have the percentage there, so that these companies, hotels, can perform optimum.
A lot of people are demanding to know
the transparency is very important.
City Hotel is,
it is.
And what the
do the math. 54% occupancy of 2,000 against 200. 90% of
Can you come in? You have 5 minutes.
You know when my brother was I felt so ashamed of him.
What has he done?
He posited that Rock City is the biggest hotel in Africa. You ask him, who are judged?
What did I say? I said it's going around.
Let me finish. When you were talking about
quote me right.
So
that's all. Thank you.
Then you ask him, who are judged Rock City of that pedigree? They say when you go to Google, they say everybody. The same Google that he's using as a very verifiable source to authenticate the pedigree of Rock City said that and says that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the biggest lawyer in Africa. So on one breath, when Google says that, Rock City is the biggest hotel, that one is credible for you. And it's a reference point you can follow. But when the same Google says that in the whole of Africa, the biggest layer is Bawumia, that one is in contention.
Sami Jemfi and who did that?
Oh, please.
Enjoy FM must come out with that.
He's talk about matters of liquidity. Do you know that in all this discussion, we've left out one important personality in the country and we are silent about him? The Minister for Employment and Labor Relations.
Okay.
About 2 years ago, the MPP government took up SSNIT under the tutelage of Finance Ministry and gave it to Employment Ministry. Go check the records. So, I'm asking that minister, if under your watch, the country is selling this strategic asset to a member, a cabinet colleague of yours, and you are watching broad daylight, you are highly incompetent. If anybody is close to the Employment Minister, the MP for Tunawell, they should tell the BOT you are highly incompetent. Because you see, Ghana has witnessed so many finance ministers in Ghana.
Right.
We've seen so many ministers of employment. Just 2 years ago, the MPP government took off SSNIT and gave it to you to manage. Under your supervision and control as an employment minister, they are selling sales hotels that will have a negative impact on pensioners in the country. And you call yourself a competent employment minister, you are very incompetent.
I see.
My brother talk about the same liquidity. In the same liquidity, look, let me tell you. So now, Google can give you a source and you are happy. Google, the biggest lie in Africa, will be there.
I've told you
Google Skylight.
Multimedia has exposed
That is when we Skylight Ethiopia. Google, what's the Skylight, the pedigree of Skylight in hotel management in Africa. Google it now on this show. I have slept in that hotel. I've slept in Rock City. And I can tell you, Skylight is far ahead of Rock City. I'm not here to condemn Rock City. But don't sit on a platform and raise a hope that does not exist. He spoke about liquidity. Do you know why SSNIT is running around and why they brought in Bosompim, the son of Osafo Mafo? It is simply because when pensioners' funds were due for maturity, you couldn't pay them. You couldn't pay them because you used pensioners' funds for something mischievous. So now you are running around looking for an alternative source of liquidity to cushion yourself. He spoke about strategic investor.
Right.
And that when we say strategic investor is not just about money, but it's also talk about technical competence, etc.
Right.
We agree. Look, my bone of contention is very simple. We want a full disclosure of all the bidders.
That's okay.
Full disclosures. So that I can sit in the comfort of my home, my office, and my room and read the capacity of all the bidders.
I'll tell you one thing.
So that we cannot look. I want Ghanaian businesses to thrive. Look, I'm proud of Zoom Lion. I'm proud of Despite. But I will not be proud of any businessman and woman whose source of wealth was based on chronic capitalism. That I'll kick against. That is my principle. So, if indeed Rock City is a strategic investor that is making us believe, I do not know, SSNIT should do Ghanaians a favor. Because SSNIT, you are holding people's money in trap. And don't forget that SSNIT is an insurance. And just as every insurance does two things, either indemnity or compensation.
Right.
Now, the reason why people are very much involved and the hula bala around it is that a lot of pensioners fund suffers haircuts. NDC, our position is very simple.
Okay.
On any day, any time, we will rise to the occasion to make sure that the over millions of pensioners fund in Ghana is protected. And if indeed, you see, check from the year 2017, 2018, the number of government conferences and businesses and workshops that have been diverted to Rock City.
Right.
You remember that there was a time that the Speaker of Parliament issued a caveat that they should not hold a certain workshop in Rock City because the amount of money they were going to pay was so huge. So don't sit down and tell us that by virtue of their champion position, will not have any material effect on the decision that they make. I'll tell you, it will not happen today, it will not happen tomorrow. In conclusion, he said that the issue heading to shrine is much ado about nothing. That is prejudicial. And it's prejudicial because each shrine is going to make a determination on whether conflict of interest. No. Case laws. No, but when you are on it, you must not make a predetermined position that you have case law.
Okay.
Case law. This matter is that
you go to the case law.
And you have sat on this platform to say that this case heading to shrine is much ado about.
Yes, because
in this country, the MPP can do everything. They own the court, they own everything.
Can you take us home?
Viewers, please, I didn't just say it out of vacuum.
Why? You are blowing your words.
No. I said I didn't just say it out of vacuum. I gave cases, that I said had gone to shrine, and based on that,
it's not
similar. Yes, based on that, that's the same. Our jurisprudence is tailored that way. And so
don't be too sure.
I should be confident. No, let me finish. It's not precise. Again, let me talk about something. And he's an economic guy. He will agree that it doesn't mean, we can go for bidding. Myself, BOT, and yourself, I may offer the biggest amount for the project or whatever, but it will not be given to me. You know that,
right?
You know that. So the amount offered doesn't determine whether you are taking the offer. No, because it is strategic investment. Other things are factored into the consideration to make the decision. And so Rock City, I'm excited. I said I am a SSNIT contributor, and I want my fund protected. And so, if any investment, because the way I see, I have been to Buzua, I've been to La Palm, I've been Almina, lived there. The one that excited me was Ridge Royal. As for now, it's new. You get it? And these ones seem to be a bit old. And so the patronage is not as. And last to our viewers, I am saying 54% occupancy of a 2,000 capacity hotel, as against 90% occupancy of a 200-room hotel. I'll prefer the 54%.
But do you agree with persons who are calling on SSNIT to make
I agree.
Proposals available so that Ghanaians will be at peace?
I think it should be of public knowledge by now. It should be. Those who bidded for it, unless it is a classified bidding.
Great.
But it should be of public knowledge. Once there's public interest in it, and it's our own, and TUC.
Truly African.